In business tonight, Hong Kong Finance Secretary Paul Chan has unveiled a belt-tightening budget aimed at ending the city's series of record-high deficits. Now, the city is projected to mark its third consecutive financial year in the red, a deficit for 2024 to 2025 of 87 billion Hong Kong dollars, or about 11 billion US dollars, exceeding initial estimates. Mr. Chan is now looking to restore fiscal balance within the current government term, which ends in June 2027. CNA's Wong has more on the plan.
Hong Kong has been trying to prop up its economy post-COVID pandemic, and it hasn't been easy. Last year, for example, Hong Kong only achieved 2.5%, barely touching its growth forecast. And also for this year, as expected, Paul Chan has lowered Hong Kong's growth forecast to between 2 and 3%. So going into this budget, Financial Secretary Paul Chan really had a lot on his mind, trying to strike a balance in the budget, but also trying to cut the government spending, because that is taking a whole chunk from the government coffers. Now, one way to cut the government spending was to freeze the civil servants' pay, and also to eliminate some of the jobs. 10,000 civil service jobs will be eliminated. Yet another way that he's planning to cut the spending would be to take away and reduce some of the subsidies that were given out during the COVID-19 pandemic. On the other hand as well, aside from cutting spending, then we're talking about trying to boost the revenue for the government in order for the government to have more money in their pockets. And one way to up the revenue, well, the government has decided to, for example, roll out higher taxes for airport taxes, higher taxes for airport departures. Paul Chan used tourism as a major factor, hoping to draw in more tourism using very distinct features for Hong Kong, such as perhaps banking on eco-tourism, banking on panda tourism, and also, listen to this, horse racing tourism. So all of these are ways and means to help generate more revenue for Hong Kong. But ultimately, we will have to see what exactly is going to play out, because it's going to take some time. For weeks right now, many people have been talking about the possibilities of reducing certain subsidies, and they do understand that Hong Kong is not in great shape in terms of economy. Economy can be improved a lot better. So they are quite perhaps resigned to the fact that they're not seeing any sweetness being dished out, and they're hoping that Hong Kong will be able to weather the challenges ahead. We're talking about a lot of supply chain disruptions, a lot of trade tensions that will ultimately affect Hong Kong as well.
Now is a hard time in all over the world, so we have to see how to be more stable situation now. So I guess it's look forward to have a good future later on. Yeah.
The measure is just to cut the expenses, just to cut the budget only. So it doesn't mean that you cut the budget and then you can boost the economy. It's two different scenarios, different purposes.
我可以接，即係其實今次好溫和、好 gentle 嘅，其實呢個 policy 因為我反而擔心佢即係咁多次嘅財赤可以維持幾耐，因為始終個儲備都係有限。
Cuts to government spending could definitely be much deeper in order to make a resounding kind of an impact. However, some of the analysts are also saying that yes, this is as far as Paul Chan can go. But more importantly as well, they felt that he could have perhaps dialed back on some of the major infrastructure projects, because those are the ones that would really take up a lot of money. And unfortunately, the returns will be pretty much, long term. You're not going to be able to see immediate returns, and also you're not going to be sure about what type of returns you're getting.
This year's budget, he is becoming more aggressive in expansionary projects like developing the metropolitan in the northern area of Hong Kong, try to make it a technological hub like the one in California, Silicon Valley, but it would be taking like 5 to 10 years at least, because for any NASDAQ companies, you can see that they will be burning a lot of money without even revenue, not to talk about profit, for for a long time, and I think Hong Kong is at the stage of investing before we get return. So we would suffer more deficit in the coming few years.
Despite the criticisms that the measures aren't bold enough, but Paul Chan, Financial Secretary, believes that Hong Kong will be able to weather all the hiccups as well as challenges going forward.